Here you go, Danny. This is their Crabitat. We have a 50-gallon tank. This is coconut substrate. This right here is their salt water pool. They got a little hut, and they like those, they call them cholla logs. And all the excess shells you see laying around, the spiral ones, are there so that the crabs can choose different shells if they want. They need to have a choice of shells. And then here you see their food dish. They're scavengers. They eat just about anything. They've got some pieces of banana nutmeg pancake and some taco meat. We give them coconut, fresh coconut often too. And over here, this is their freshwater pool, spring water. They like to have twigs to crawl on. There's Vito over there in the corner, the one with the gray and the black. He's kind of bearing himself out down in there. You can see Herman. He's pretty active right now. The little tiny guy. He's going all over the place. There's some more shells. Another big old piece of driftwood. And back in this corner, if I can get the right angle, that's Butthead. Butthead's alive and well. We got a big old light shining on him right now. Sherman's on the move. He might be hungry. But we built up some rocks and some shells around the edges of this pool. Which is just nothing more than one of those throwaway Tupperware containers. We put rocks, small rocks in the bottom, larger rocks on top, so that the smaller ones can get in it safely and not drown. And here, where's he at? I can see if I can get a good angle. There he is. There's Butthead. He's pretty cool. He's really social. They like to climb these pieces of wood. They're climbers. But on top, we have a lid that's just a screen, but with a large bath towel over the top of it, because you see here, we've got a humidity gauge and a temperature gauge. They like high humidity, and they like fairly warm temperatures. We're about 80 degrees on the temperature right now, and on the humidity, I'm opening it up, so I'm letting humidity out. We're at about 75%. Ideally, you want your humidity anywhere between 65 and 85%, and you want your temperature anywhere between 70 and 80. So we're right on the money. But yeah, this is their Crabitat, is what they call it. 50-gallon tank. Lots of substrate. Here, I'll go to the outside and show you what the outside. It's a little bit water stained up from us spraying the tank all the time to keep it humidified. But this is a view from the outside. You can see how deep the substrate is. It's actually probably needs to be maybe a tad bit deeper than what it is, but it seems to be doing the trick. They need to have it deep enough so that they can burrow and bury themselves. That's where they go usually during the day, is they bury themselves. And, you know, it doesn't matter how many times we arrange this tank. We put the cholla logs and angle them up so they can climb, and they knock stuff over constantly. They've knocked that hut clean over. Today the food dish was up on end because the big dude Vito, who's over there chilling in the corner, probably can't see him that well here, but that's all water spots on the tank because we spray it daily just to make sure that we keep the humidity level at an acceptable. They have a heater, that black thing back in the corner over there. That is that just has an adhesive and it plugs in. There's Herman back there in the corner. That is an actual crab tank heater. We may eventually, when winter coming, probably going to need to get at least one more for this tank because the tank is a 50-gallon tank. But right now we've got a 75-watt light bulb. We don't leave it on all the time, but it does help create some excess heat, so they do like to hang out down here by the bulb. I turn that off at night, and I usually do not leave it on during the day because typically during the day they are all buried in the substrate. right there, middle of our living room. And there's all their little stuff and their little bath that I had. And then if we pan over a little bit, then we have the water frog. Tad the water frog. Tad the water frog. I don't see him right now. I don't know where he's at. Tad's pretty cool too. But his tank was getting really built up with algae. I mean, really, really bad. You can still see some algae in there. But we went out and bought... Oh, there he is. He's right there. He's not moving right now. Let's see if I can get him to move. Yeah, he's sleeping. He's a water frog. He does have to breathe air. So he does go to the top and get breaths of air. But he lives in the water. But somewhere in here we have a Chinese algae eater. And I am here to tell you there was algae building up everywhere in this tank. There's still plenty of food for the algae eater. But these, you see all these shells here? They were all completely, totally covered in green algae. And you see they're barely covered now at all. And that's our little algae eater that we bought a couple weeks ago. He's cleaning our tank up nicely. Tad likes a certain degree of algae. He has a blast with this pile of shells. He likes to burrow himself down in between the shells, and he's got a little castle over here, and he's got these little fake plants he can hide himself in and swim around in. And he's really cool. He's getting really big. Oh, there he's moving. There he is. He's gonna put on a little show for us. There he is. This is Tad. He was Tad the tadpole, but now he's Tad the frog. And that's in the middle of our living room. We have reptiles and crustaceans. But the kids love it, and they have to take care of them, and they have to help feed them and clean their tanks, and it's really cool. It's a really, really cool thing to have. Yeah. I don't regret doing this for the kids at all. We'll get a little zoom in here. Tad the frog. There he is. Yeah, there he is. He's pretty cool. He's gonna go up and get some air. Yep, there he goes. Getting some air. And he's good for probably quite a while. Just doesn't take much.